The new DLC for Dragon Ball FighterZ Daima Goku is officially out, and in this video I'm gonna help you to understand the character, going over 5 things that you must know about him to get started. And we are gonna talk about almost everything that you need to at least pick up the character and start having fun. His neutral, his playstyle, and overall best options. So if you wanna see more content like this for Dragon Ball FighterZ, or you enjoy content about other fighting games as well, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to support the channel. I would appreciate it a ton. And now let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we have to talk about is how to play neutral with Daima Goku, because he has a lot of tools, and you need to understand that he's a brawler. He wants to get in, like he's a character that has a lot of mix-up and also does a lot of damage from different interactions. So it is important to kind of like get the idea that your priority is to actually cut the gap in neutral and be up close. But even with that in mind, this character has a beam. And it is really important for you to understand that you have it, because in this game, beams are universally good. They stop super dashes, they also win against ki blasts, so they are some of the best kind of like neutral control tools in the game. So you need to be aware that you have a beam. You'll just do quarter circle back, light, medium or heavy, and after the flip, you press a special and you get the beam. Just so you're aware that you have it, because even if you want to get in all the time, this is still so good to have, okay? So have that in mind. Then on top of that, you do have ki blasts if you do down S or S in the air, but I would say that these are some of the worst ki blasts in the game when it comes to controlling neutral, because they are really slow, they're going to lose against super dash. So this is mostly, I would say, kind of like a combo fodder move. I wouldn't use it in neutral, to be completely honest with you. You're kind of like just putting you in a situation in which you're really kind of like weak against multiple options. So if you want to control neutral, yes, prioritize the beam and don't use the ki blast that much, at least in my opinion. And then on top of that, you have all the other tools to get in. Like I said, this character wants to close the gap. So you have quarter circle forward light, medium and heavy, which is a command dash that also has follow-ups, kind of like a Rekka series. If you press the normal again, you get this kick into a punch that is actually cancelable into other of the follow-ups in the same kind of like Rekka series. If you do up and a normal, you have a command grab. If you do down and a normal, you have an anti-air that has the same properties of down H, so it's really strong. And then if you do actually the command dash into S or special, it is a dodge, kind of like Vidal's dodge essentially, and you can use it to cross people up. And also, I guess, cut the gap in neutral, since it is invincible, but it's very minus. So you will probably need to do like this into an assist to make it safe or something like that. So those are some things that you have to get in when you use the command dash. And then I would also say that if you want to simplify how to use the command dash and all the follow-ups and don't get like overwhelmed by the options, always prioritize just pressing light, medium or heavy, because almost all the options from this give you like full combo routes. If you do the heavy version, for example, it's a full-on wall bounce. If you do the medium, it's also a wall bounce, but you're in the air, but you can still do like a beam and stuff like that. And from the light, if you have the right assist, you can get almost a TLD if you dump like all the meter from this range, no joke. Like you can just do command dash into this, hit confirm it into the grab, and then do some crazy stuff, okay? It's absolutely nuts. Of course, I'm not necessarily doing like the best combo or anything. I'm just showing what you can do. But if you just meter dump for something like this, you can get 9k or something like that, which is absolutely crazy from an interaction that essentially happen in almost full screen range, like it happens here. So it is insanely good. So just kind of like simplify how to use the command dash and always use light or always use medium or heavy from the follow-ups. Okay, so for tip number 2, we're going to talk about normals, specifically about which are the best buttons to use with Daima Goku, because this character has some of the best normals in the game and you need to use them in the mid-range to play footsies and neutral, kind of like a continuation of point number 1, but more related to this range over here than all the way here when you use command dash, your beam and stuff like that, right? So the first 2 buttons are stand M and crouch M. Stand M is really fast. It gets to like 8 all the way to 13 frames on max range. And it actually has a lot of range for stand M. It's really good. Then for crouch M, you also have a ton of range in the normal, and it is of course a low. And if you look at the full range, it's kind of degenerate, okay? It's actually a lot. Like this normal is insanely good. Super good. And stand M also has a similar range, like don't get me wrong, this character has insanely good medium normals, and these buttons are some of the best starters in the game in terms of damage, so you need to use them. And then on top of that, you also have stand H and forward H, okay? The reason why these ones are good is because they also have a lot of range, like stand H has a ton of range, just like the medium ones, but if you actually charge it, It has even more, and you can get full combos of interactions with charge H if you do whatever, right? I'm just doing any combos, but the fact that it has more range is not the only thing because it gives that wall bounce that gives you a full combo. And then on top of that, you also have forward heavy. This normal has armor, like you're seeing on the screen, it says that it's invincible, and you can also charge it, just like stand H, and all the way until it comes out, it is invincible. It has armor until the move comes out, even if you charge it. So super, super good if you're playing against people that like to press a ton of stuff in the mid-range or on wake up. And you can also just do the version that is not charged, and it still has armor. So really, really good normal that you need to be using a ton, because the range also in the charged version gets absolutely crazy, and you can get full combos, of course, out of it. So don't sleep on forward heavy. Probably one of the best normals in the game. And well, now we jump into tip number 3, and I really had to give an entire section of this video to stand S, or your stand special. And the reason for that is because this move, yes, this almost full screen neutral skip is actually plus on block. Plus 5 on block. It's absolutely degenerate. This thing hits you from Narnia, okay? It's absolutely crazy. And it is actually plus on block, which is nuts. And it's not that slow. Like, it's 22 frames of startup. That's not that slow at all for something that has this range. And it's plus on block. It's kind of degenerate, okay? But the fact that this move has a lot of range, it's almost full screen, and it's also plus on block, it's not the only thing that makes it good, because on hit, it has a lot of hit stun, 32 frames of advantage, which means you can do stuff like this into stand M. And that is absolutely crazy. Like, this is one of the best neutral skips in the game. It has a relatively fast startup, 22 frames, plus 5 on block, almost full screen range, and you can get full combos out of this. That is absolutely nuts. Like, this is like Mugen moves. Like, it's absolutely crazy. I dropped the combo there, but you can get the idea. Like, this character is absolutely crazy in terms of power levels, and this move is one of the best examples. Like, this does everything for you. Plus on block for pressure, like I said, neutral skip, on hit, a full combo in almost whatever way you want. So you really need to be using this move, because it's gonna make or break how crazy the character is gonna feel for you, and how easy it's going to be to win neutral and get in and just get a turn over and over. So please do not forget about using stand S, because this has to be one of the most degenerate moves in the entire game. And now we can talk about tip number 4, and this one is just to highlight some of the best mix-ups that this character has, because he wants to get in, like I've said before in the video, and he has a lot of ways to open you up when he's already in. So it's gonna be really important for you to understand which mix-up options are kind of like more stable and good to use. The first option that is super simple and really good is that after you do command dash into light, medium, or heavy on block, they are so safe that the gap is very minimal, and that means that you can either extend your string or literally just open them up with a mix-up, because if you do the medium version specifically, it has forward momentum after, which means you can do a normal with an overhead cross-up, which is really, really strong, and it's kind of like for free. If they're not ready for it or they're respecting you, this is really, really good, because, like I said, this is not that minus on block at all. And if you want to make it gapless, you can of course just call on assist, right? And it still do kind of like a similar setup. So it is insanely good, and it's very simple to do. At the end of all your strings, you can just finish it with this and get a mix-up. Then on top of that, you can also do this into more Rekka follow-ups. You can actually do it on block. You don't need to hit somebody to get all their follow-ups. So if they're standing, you can open them up with a command grab if you think you're going to respect you. And like I've shown before, you can get full combos from interactions like that. I dropped it, but you get the idea. Then also, if you think they're going to actually mash after you do this, because you're a minus, right? You can do down and a normal and get like the N-tier follow-up of the Rekka, and it's gonna stop it from mashing, and you can get a full interaction for a combo. So there is so much that you can do only by simplifying your pressure into finishing with command dash into light, medium, or heavy, and choosing whatever option you want. Then of course you have in all of this same kind of like loop of options, the EX command dash, which is a cross-up, and can lead to the similar situations even with another cross-up, right? So double cross-up because of the X command dash into medium follow-up, into another cross-up or whatever, depending on what you want to do. So yeah, to be honest, I just wouldn't be afraid of simplifying my offense a ton at the start and just use command dash into light, medium, or heavy. And then what is the RPS? Am I gonna cross you up, for example, by doing down heavy? Am I going to actually do the medium version and have a free cross-up if you're not ready for it? Am I actually just gonna do, for example, assist into double cross-up? There is so much that you can do. Or even, am I just gonna do actually EX command dash into instant cross-up? So like the ways in which you can open people up only using this simple move are actually a ton. And then of course remember that if you want to get more fancy with the mix-ups and more advanced, you have the Trunks flip. So this character has essentially a 4-way mix-up from every single interaction in which you have meter, and you use it to do the EX flip that you can control manually, you call an assist, and then boom, you have an insane mix-up opportunity. So do not forget about it, because when you get better at the character and start opening people up with the overall kind of like command dash and Rekka options, and then you add also the flip into it, it's gonna be impossible for people to deal with you on defense. So there's a lot that you can do to open people up like crazy with this character. And now we finally get into the last point or tip in the video, and for this one I just want to showcase the depth of the character a little bit, because there's a lot of stuff that I didn't add at the start. I do this guides kind of thinking of intermediate and more low-level players, and I don't want to overwhelm people with things that they're not gonna use really when they're just starting with a new character. I try to teach the more functional things, but this character has a lot of more depth and technical stuff, I guess you can call it. For example, you can do charge jump H, and it's gonna give you a complete new combo routing because it causes ground bounces, so you can do stuff like this. Oh sorry, did a side switch. That was not in the plans, guys. There you go. So it can give you full like new combos because of the juggles with the ground bounce and things like that. Then also, other thing that I guess I didn't talk about that is a little bit more advanced is that I taught you how to use EX command dash, right? Well, you can do down heavy after EX command dash and you get a double cross-up. It's of course kind of like not the best because it uses a 1 bar meter just to get that mix-up, but it's still really strong and it's more advanced in terms of mix-ups. It's probably not something that you need to use at the start, but it's useful. Then also, remember that we talk about this move, right? Forward heavy. There's a situation in which this is actually good for pressure because this move, when you fully charge it, it's plus on block. So if people are actually blocking this, it's your turn again. Stuff like that about this character is really interesting because he has a lot of those like more specific interactions depending on some like specific things that you do when you charge your normals or when you use specific follow-ups with meter. So I just wanted to show that this character has that, and that over time, if you want to, you can learn more advanced tech and find it online on Twitter or YouTube as well. But I didn't want to go over this with too much detail at the start because I feel like it's just not nearly as relevant as all the other stuff that I talk about in the video. So that was the guide, guys. I hope that it was useful. If it was, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing, especially if you want to see more content for Dragon Ball FighterZ or guides for other fighting games. Thank you for watching, and now see you on the next one.